Hi guys, I'm Katie Room from Periapsis Press.
And I'm David Room.
We went shopping today.
We've been having fun lately now that we have a library and sort of a plan of things we're trying to collect to just go to Half Price Books and sort of splurge. Whoops, this isn't going to work.
What would you like me to do?
Oh, I'd like to just move it over a little bit so I don't have to scoot super close to you.
Like that?
Yeah. So we've been having fun just grabbing a lot of good stuff. And it also, it makes a good YouTube video that people seem to like to watch. So we've been enjoying this. Let's see.
David's been collecting some comics recently. So are you going to talk about some of the other stuff that you've gotten? Not necessarily.
I'm just going to show a couple things that like some of what I've gotten is filling in. We'll do a bigger episode about comics sometime soon.
Yeah.
But I'll just show a thing or two. Okay, take this up a little bit. Oops. All right. Yeah, that works pretty well.
Yep.
Let's just see. We can probably get started, and then if other people trickle in, they can watch at higher speed. Okay, we got a couple people. Hey Timo, hey Ultimate Kahuna. Where do you have the? Oh yeah, here it is. Why don't you go first?
So I grabbed a couple of these, just in great condition. So it's the starter set for the Hardy Boys in box. Maybe a little bit of shelf wear on the box, but otherwise it crinkles when you open the books. That's how unopened these are.
Nice.
And then the starter kit for Nancy Drew as well. 1 through 5. And both of these are just in fantastic shape.
Yeah. So a lot of what we're doing is kind of looking for books that we want to have for like kids books and stuff for our kids to read, stuff that we read. And we've been looking for these for a while, but usually they just have the individual books and they're kind of expensive. I mean, these weren't super cheap.
Right.
But they're in really good shape. Like I feel like probably unread.
Yeah.
So not a and then we just have them and we can be done. We can pick one up here and there when the kids get older if they like them, they can grab more as they get older. But yeah, that's a good start.
Just sort of came to the realization that we can't really rely on a public institution like the library to continue to carry good classic stuff. And you never count on the library to have stuff that was in any kind of decent shape.
Yeah.
Everything's always
when
beat up all to heck.
We went to the library. What kind of spurred some of this on is we went to the library a few months ago. I don't know if it was for anything in particular, but we went on a Saturday and the selection was pretty terrible. They didn't have a lot of books that I remember reading as a kid. A lot of the stuff they did have was just beat to hell, like worse than what you would find at Half Price Books.
Yeah.
And it's like
it was like Goodwill level.
Yeah, worse, like Goodwill or worse. And at this point, I mean, I'll just pay a few bucks to have something nice for my kids to read.
Yeah.
Especially picture books and illustrated stuff.
And we want to teach our kids to take good care of books, right? We don't want to give them books that other people have abused and let them think that is the standard that they rise to, right?
I'm going to just turn our gain up here. Yeah, and and if our kids wear the books out, that's fine.
Right.
Too. It's not not a big deal. Things can be replaced, but
There's something to be said for the experience of having
Now,
a nice copy.
Babe, have you ever read any of these?
I definitely read Nancy Drew. I think I read some of the early Hardy Boys, but I didn't read a lot of them because my dad had a later one on the shelf that I tried, and it was sci-fi. Like it got weird.
So I never read Hardy Boys. I always liked Nancy Drew as a kid because I just thought the covers were cooler.
They're kind of cool.
A lot of the Nancy Drew, and I don't think I've read any of these earlier ones. I was reading more of the later ones that were like published in the 60s and 70s. Sure. They're all ghostwritten, and that's what they had in my library. They just had these kind of cool gothic covers, and some of them had kind of a horror vibe to them.
Yeah,
and I remember one that had like a manta ray on the cover, or not a manta ray, just like a stingray. You know how stingrays have that creepy looking mouth?
Yeah,
and it was like up on the cover, and it looked kind of like a creepy ghost and stuff. Just the covers were more evocative for me for Nancy Drew. Hardy Boys seemed kind of more generic, like crime sort of stuff. Nancy Drew was kind of more like uncovering old mysteries. Yeah, is the way that at least the
more exploration.
Yeah.
And I was turned off of the Hardy Boys because of that later one that I read, and I was not expecting body doubles and weird.
Yeah.
And then as a kid, having my expectations overthrown like that was a little bit much for me.
Michael Kane is here. Hey, Michael, he's got us on while he's doing some work. So hopefully we are a good companion and don't distract you too much from your work. Yeah, so it might be kind of fun just to read a couple of these. I think they're probably quick reads. And with these, they're all ghostwritten. So there was like one guy who had the idea to do these like kind of big long series, and he like wrote up the plots and just handed them out to ghostwriters. I think it was the same guy that did both of them.
Really?
Yeah. So, and that's why they ran so long, right?
Sure.
And across time, it's kind of like one of the first franchises, kind of things. But yeah. I remember these fondly, and I feel like reading these as a kid, I learned a lot of vocabulary and stuff from them. So I think they're just kind of a nice thing to have.
Yeah. Yeah, just nice to have.
Yeah, Ultimate Kahuna says, I'll always assume Nancy Drew was for girls. And, I knew that too, but it's a girl main character, but I just thought the stories looked more interesting. So that's what I read.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's kind of how they were intended.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. The let's see here, like the bungalow mystery. Like, I don't know. Just the covers to me, like a lone female in kind of a scary situation is just a more compelling cover than like two teenage boys who seem to have things under control. Right? I don't know.
Sure.
And I think I got that as a little boy too. Like, it's just I just found that more compelling. Although in the stories, Nancy she's not usually alone. She has friends that help her out. And I think if I remember right, the Hardy Boys' dad is a police detective, and Nancy's dad, I think he is too. He's either a detective or a lawyer or something. I think
he's a lawyer.
So she's got lots of resources and stuff. So it's not quite, but it's fun stuff anyway.
Yeah. Do you want to switch off or?
No, you keep going. Okay. I'm actually going to get a glass of water.
I think I got more than one of these. You bury it? Okay. I had been holding out for hardcover copies of the Lloyd Alexander Chronicles of Prydain. Can tell how often I've actually looked at that word.
Sound it out.
And saw the hardcover when I was looking at it online earlier this month, and just decided that I thought those covers were boring. And so I went ahead and grabbed the paperbacks that they had. They just had the first one and then the fifth one, but they're just way more compelling to me. This one, I remember as a kid, like reading this copy. So I decided to do those. Usually I like to lean towards hardcover, but I just think they're cooler.
Now, is this the one with the pig?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I've only read the second one.
Sure, because they made a movie of that one.
Well, I never saw the movie either, but I just read the second one. And that was kind of weird coming into the story and the second book.
It's kind of odd.
But it was a pretty good self-contained story, so I thought it was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of a classic sort of destined individual type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is he hidden royalty or hidden something?
He's something. The pig is a person.
The pig is not a person.
The pig is a person.
The pig is a pig.
It's like an enchanted pig, though.
Yes. It is a significant pig. It was not a person.
It's a pig.
Do you have a place to put and stuff?
It's a pig man.
It's not a pig.
Pig man, Jerry.
I got really excited about these.
Man pig.
I read these as a kid or a teenager. I have the first two. Maybe I'll even grab them to show you guys.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is the whole Patricia C. Reed.
So I have this version of these two. And then came across these.
Oh, those like old. Are they old, like the Scholastic ones? Yes. Nice.
I just think that's so cool. I think both of them have merits as covers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the whole set is here.
It's really fun. Oh, so that's a complete set of 4. Nice. Whenever I'm at just a point where it's like, if I see a nice set like this, I'm just gonna buy it. Like I was collecting all the Vernacular books. I think I showed those on the other stream, and I kind of had a few different editions, and then I started seeing them all of the one style, and it's like I just gotta get them all.
I'm trying to see if it says who did the cover. Doesn't seem to.
It should somewhere.
It ought to somewhere. All I've got here is don't buy this book without a cover. Oh, portions of chapters 1 and 2 were previously published in a slightly altered form as The Improper Princess, a short story. Huh. That's cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, this really tickled me as a kid because I was a tomboy. So it was fun to read about a princess who was practical.
Like the Kirkus review on the back of this one. The characters and ... effervescent dialogue continue to charm.
What was left out? So I'm excited about those.
Ultimate Kahuna asks how much people care about signed copies or first editions or special editions. I probably wouldn't pay a whole lot extra for a signed anything unless it was something that an author that I really, really liked, like one of my top 2 or 3 authors of a certain genre or whatever.
I like signed copies of indie stuff that I enjoyed and have some sort of relationship with the author on Twitter or wherever. I think that's fun. like I knew this person, right? But like as far as just in general, like buying from the store,
yeah,
I really have to care.
I'm also kind of OCD about things, so if especially for something like a comic, if I had a signed version of something, I would want to have an unsigned version too, just to have the cover be unspoiled. So I wouldn't want a signed version of something that was really expensive.
Yeah, I think I'd never touch it, you know.
Well, I would touch it, but I mean, I wouldn't. I would like to have an untouched version.
Yeah.
You would feel OCD about the signature itself.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think if I have anything that's signed by the author. I don't think I do.
I've got a couple of indie books that are, but I don't think I have anything else.
Yeah.
Last book haul, I got 2 and 3. This time I got the first one. Woo. Yay. I saw this and grabbed it. I remember really enjoying this. This is not the cover.
Oh, nice. That's that Mark Lawrence one.
Yeah. This is the series he wrote after Prince of Thorns.
Is that in the same world or is it a separate one?
Oh, I don't remember.
And this is the first one, right?
That's the first one.
Yeah, nice. That's a really dumb cover.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, really bad.
Really awful.
It's like just really, I mean, it's not a bad, it's a functional cover, but it's not a cover that rewards looking closely at.
No.
Oh, nice. William Hastings is here. How's it going? And Michael of St. Joseph, hello. Yeah, I haven't really read Mark Lawrence, but like the little bit of stuff of his that I have read, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the Prince of Thorns series. It was
this
kind of
is
dark.
This is a UK edition.
Oh.
It's got the UK price.
Oh, what do you know?
And it's harpervoyager.co.uk. That's kind of cool. That might be a little bit of a collector's item.
Who knows?
Ooh, $6.99. You're living large.
don't look at the prices. I've never read these, and I got the first book in the actual Witcher series. I'm not going to try and pronounce that name. What is his name?
I think it's like, I mean, probably just Sapkowski or probably Sapkowski is how I would pronounce that.
Could be.
That's how, yeah.
Or cow?
Like on
Sapkowski? Or
well, usually W is like a
really?
Is like a V.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
And that I would just probably pronounce Andre. I don't know.
Okay.
Subkovsky probably is how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Like Subkovsky.
The first season of the Netflix show made me feel like it could have been good. what I wanted was more monster fighting and less.
Yeah. The books are probably really nice.
That's what I'm hoping. I never played the games. David bought me the third one.
Yeah.
But it's on PC.
Yeah, it's on my
Which-
computer. So you can't be bothered to turn that on.
Someday I'll get around to it and I'll actually continue playing it.
William Hastings said he hasn't read or seen The Witcher, but played the Xbox game and enjoyed it.
Sure.
I know my impression of the show was like, oh, I bet the games are really nice.
Yeah.
Right. The first season of the Netflix show was quite nice. The second season was kind of terrible. But the first season made me want to play the games.
Mm-hmm. Ultimate Kahuna says that Elric is superior.
Yeah, and I know Razor Fist has a very long video about that.
I actually ordered that book.
Oh, the Elric book? Nice. The very, very first one?
I
mean, it's
I think so.
Elric of Melnibone is what it's called, I think.
I think that's the one I
Yeah,
got.
well, I'm curious to see what you think about that, because a lot of people on Twitter talk about those books all the time. Everything I know about them, they don't sound like something I'd like. And the author is Michael Moorcock, which I know you hate his opinions about Tolkien. Right. So
yeah, I got it mostly because I wanted to see the characterization. We'll see. Thought I'd try something new.
Yeah. There's early in the Conan the Barbarian Marvel comics, there's a couple issues where Elric comes over.
Yeah, I know that people really like him, so
yeah. William Jeffrey Rankin says that Elric is kind of anti-Tolkien.
Yeah. Yep.
William Hastings says that he's never read Moorcock, but Alex Trevino raves about him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, William, I haven't read Alex Trevino's book, but like just judging from what I've seen of his stuff, it would make sense that he would like Elric, because Elric strikes me as very wild and extreme, and that's kind of my impression of Alex Trevino. So that makes sense. Oh yeah, and he tried to get the Gore novels taken out of stores.
All right. I grabbed this.
You don't have that?
I don't have this. I've been meaning to get it for forever. It's an older hardcover copy.
Yeah, that's a really nice copy.
As everyone knows, the fake stickers on the hardcover copies. But I kind of like this cover better than the newer one, I think. So I thought I'd grab it. I've been meaning to get it. I've read it before, so it's not going to surprise me at all. But
yeah, some
it's
of
got a nice.
Some of the versions of that book, they have kind of dumb covers that sort of play into the meta nature of the book, and I don't like that. Like, I don't want my book cover to look like another book with another cover or something dumb.
Yeah.
So this is nice.
Yeah, and I don't really.
It includes the first chapter of the long lost sequel, Buttercup's Baby.
I have read that too.
Okay.
Yes, so
Ooh, $12.49. Yikes.
it's cheaper than it was online.
Yeah.
I like the movie. I know some people don't. It was a lot of fun.
I'm trying to figure out if I think a few of these endorsements on the back are fake.
Yeah.
At least two of them are of the little endorsement blurbs.
Shog Bongino, Professor Emeritus, Mid-European Literature, Columbia University. Having taught the first course in Morgenstern, given by an American Ivy League university, I am, of course, most pleased to see this long overdue edition. At first, Goldman's abridgment proved nettlesome to me, but upon rereading, clearly has virtues of its own.
Yeah.
It's a believable one because, like, it's kind of like that backhanded superior professor tone.
Yeah. Weird.
I have never seen this before in my life. It's called Trouble with Dragons. Oliver Selfridge. Pictures by Shirley Hughes. The covers spoke to me. It was right after I grabbed Dealing with Dragons in that whole series. And I flipped to the end just to see if I could get a sense of if it was subversive or not. And this is the last sentence. And then the puddings came, and the flames and the heady smell of the burning brandy brought everyone back down to earth and life and all good things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. We'll see. We'll see. I just like the cover and made me happy. You gotta just grab stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're never going to find this book for cheaper.
Right.
So
if I looked for it, right?
Yeah.
Most of my Tolkien commentary collection has come from Half Price Books. This is an appropriate one for the season. This is his political. It's an analysis of his political stance. So I'm excited about it. Several books ably explore how Tolkien's Catholic faith informed his fiction. None until now has centered on how his passion for liberty and limited government also shaped his work, or how this passion grew directly from his theological vision of man and creation.
I hope you're happy.
I am happy. I like stuff.
All right, that's it for you?
Yes, that's it for me.
Okay, so I got a bunch of different stuff, mostly comic related. And because I didn't get a ton of individual issues today, I'm just going to go through them and show them off and talk a little bit about why I grabbed them. And I'm going to do a longer comic video sometime. I'm actually reading through most of the stuff that I'm buying, so I'll probably have more to say about it in a bit. And then I'll be able to show off some more like complete collections of stuff. But okay, so the first thing I grabbed The Dark Knight Returns. This was $10, and it's also a copy from 1996. And I'm really getting into 90s comics, and I just thought it was nice to get sort of an older copy of this book. Dark Knight Returns originally came out in 1986, so this is like a 10-year anniversary edition, and I thought that was cool. I am not really a huge fan of Frank Miller's art. It doesn't really speak to me too much, but what I've learned about comics is like if people say something is good, it probably is. And I started reading this on the way home because Caitlin was driving, and it was like the easiest thing to read that I got, and it was really compelling. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and it's not too long. So I'm pretty excited about this. One interesting thing about this story, so like if you don't know too much about it, I guess it's like a story that's like has an older Batman coming out of retirement, kind of wrapping up loose ends or whatever. And I really like the Robin in this is a girl, and I really like how that character looks. So that was one thing when I found out about Robin being a girl in this, that kind of appealed to me. So that's Batman and Robin. I don't know. I like cool female characters. So, and I like cool looking female characters. She kind of has that kind of wild redhead look to her. So I don't know. That was sort of a plus for me to read this. So, I walked past the magazine section, which I don't usually do, and I found this. I'm super excited. So the part of the reason that I've been getting into comics is I've been watching a bunch of videos from the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel, and I've been learning about Image Comics, and I've been watching through their flip throughs of Wizard magazine to kind of learn about the history of comics during that time, which I just think is really interesting because it's a time when a lot of things were changing. I like the art, and there's kind of this independent movement starting, and I kind of identify with a lot of people involved. And I was super excited to find this issue because, like, if I was going to find one issue of Wizard magazine that I'd want to grab, it would probably be this one. It's the first issue of 1994, so it's kind of a 1993 year in review, and that was when a lot of really big things happened with Image Comics, and like they were putting out a lot of books and things were changing. And there's like a review of the debate between Todd McFarlane and Peter David, and stuff like that. Like that, like Todd McFarlane has his column and stuff in here. So it's really exciting. Like I watched their review or flip through of this just a few days ago, and it's really fun to get a copy of this. I think it was like $2 to be able to flip through it myself, and it's just really fun to look at. I think the thing that I think is neat about these is they're really neat little like pop culture time capsules, because they talk about a lot of things other than just comics, like movies and kind of some broader pop culture stuff. And it's just a neat time. I was a little bit too young because I was born in 1989. I was a little bit too young to know what was going on at the time, but it's really interesting going back and learning about it now. So this is an awesome find. Okay, so for my comic issues that I got, I think I only got 2 things that weren't out of the clearance bin, so I'll show those first. The less interesting one here is Chapel #1, and this is actually Chapel Volume 2, #1. I'm collecting a bunch of Image comics. Chapel is an assassin character, and he's actually the guy who killed or betrayed and killed Al Simmons, who is Spawn. So, and I think he kind of shows up in some other Image universe stuff, so it's kind of an interesting character. I found this copy of Youngblood #1 for $1.50. Haven't managed to find this for cheap yet. This online goes for usually like $8. So this was a great find for $1.50. It's like if you wait on this stuff, you can find it for cheap. So I was happy to find this. Cool thing about Youngblood is that they have trading cards inside. They don't come out very easy. You'd have to cut them out, but they're still fun to look at. Okay, so then all the rest of this stuff is just stuff out of the clearance bin. So I found Pit #7. So this completes my run of Pit 1 through 8, and I'm just going to show that really quick. Pit was early Image comic put out by Dale Keown, who's actually part of Comicsgate now. And Pit is like this giant alien Hulk-like character. I really like Dale Keown's art, like the way he draws teeth and the way he draws these big characters. Just very, very lively, and they're really cool. And I read the first couple of Pit issues, and I liked them a lot. So I was happy to find this and complete Pit 1 through 8, and there's only one left from Image Comics that I don't have. So that was a cool find. And then I found this. I don't usually buy Marvel stuff, but I kind of like to buy, like if I can find like something like this where it's polybag and has the trading card in it for 50 cents, like I'm going to grab it. So this is like this X-Force from the Executioner's Song crossover with a cable trading card. So like that's worth 50 cents. I'll open it up and put the trading card in my binder. It's fun. It's like cheap entertainment. Savage Dragon. This is issue 3 of the ongoing series. I've read first couple issues of the miniseries, and I really liked it. So I'm just going to start grabbing these when I see them. Savage Dragon is a funny character. He's just this big, strong green guy with a fin on his head, and he becomes a police officer and just beats people up. This Brigade #4, and it's a flip issue with Youngblood #5. So it was a nice one to find. Cyberforce Zero. So Cyberforce is one of the first like image series that I like the best. It's kind of a mutant thing, but they're all like technologically augmented, so it's got a little bit more of a sci-fi element to it. And this issue 0 is kind of cool because it was written is art by Walter Simonson. So they kind of Image started bringing in other like famous artists and creators to fill in backstories and stuff. So that's kind of a cool thing. And I've got most of the like complete runs of the original Cyberforce miniseries and like the beginning of the ongoing series. So like this was the one that I was missing. And then I grabbed this X-Force number 7 just because it's Rob Liefeld. Just a cool cover. And I mean like 50 cents. Whatever. you grab a whole big stack of comics and it's like $10. It's hard to argue with that. This is Bloodstrike number 9. I don't really have any of these others, but there was this Extreme Studios crossover thing called Extreme Prejudice, and I've started seeing these in bins. I don't have any of them, so I just thought I'd start grabbing them. And then Supreme number 2. Supreme is kind of like Rob Liefeld's Superman, his take on Superman. I've got the first issue, and I've got some other comics where Supreme shows up. He's kind of like a character that left Earth and then came back 50 years later. And they did this funny thing where basically they started it at volume 2 because like his earlier adventures on Earth would have been volume 1. And then Brigade number 4 and number 5. This Uncanny X-Men number 198 is kind of an interesting issue. It's I'd heard about this. It's Barry Windsor-Smith art. He's not my favorite artist, but it's pretty interesting. And my understanding of this issue, it's kind of like Storm is like having a dream or like a weird vision or side story. And it's just kind of cool story, kind of weird art. Should be kind of a fun thing to flip through and read. Ultimate Kahuna says that he stays away from single issue comics. Yeah, I like trade paperbacks too, but it's really fun to just buy a giant stack of comics for $10. Like, and I like flipping through and looking at the covers. So, and then this is Team Youngblood number 4. There isn't really any particular reason that I grabbed this, but at this point I'm just grabbing, if I can find an early Image comic that I don't have for 50 cents, I'm going to grab it because I like what I'm reading. So that's that. And then the last thing that I grabbed was this Star Wars Essential Chronology. So a while back from eBay, I bought the Essential Guide to Vehicles, and then I found the Essential Guide to Characters in the last Half Price Books haul, and they had this pretty decent shaped copy of the Essential Chronology, so I thought I'd grab it. Written by Kevin J. Anderson, so that's kind of cool. And I think my guess is this is also, I was going to just look and see if it also is, oh, this is 2000. So this is interesting. This is 2000. So I was going to see if it includes the Phantom Menace or Shadows of the Empire stuff. It looks like it might not include. It's mostly like long before the Star Wars trilogy. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to grab these because you never know what they're actually gonna include or not include. And okay, no, so this is interesting. It includes the Phantom Menace stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's got really beautiful illustrations. So I've been thinking a lot about drawing lately, and it has these really beautiful like pencil character illustrations. So I kind of thought it'd be nice to like, I don't know, just look at that. I think that's really pretty nice to grab for like ideas about character illustration.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hi to John Douglas.
yeah, so that's I think that's it for me. So
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That was it, I think. Did we get anything else recently?
Not other than just a whole crap ton of comics. And I'll have more to say about those later. So
Yeah.
we'll save those for another time.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming and enjoying our books with us. We like to go book shopping, and it is fun to share our love of books with other people.
John Douglas missed it and wants us to do it all over again. All right.
Tomorrow on A Drink with Crazy, we are doing our book club discussion of Dan the Destructor. Hope to see you guys all there. Other than that, I think that's the only thing.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
All right. See you later.